Personal message to Kat. I hope this works. Anyway, here's my little talk. Uh, Hello, and I'm honored to be with you, guests, other speakers, and hosts alike. In my scant time with you, I want to share two ideas. The first is something that came to me a year ago that won't leave me. It's this four stories of the purpose and point of life that are vying for dominance now in our world. The second is my perspective on what time it is for us and for regeneration. The four stories model came in a flash after someone joked, "After the rapture, can I have your car?" Even though the saved flying up to heaven seems insane to me, earning your way into heaven is real for easily half the Earth's population. I have to take it seriously. The story of the rapture is that the purpose of life on earth is gaining access to the kingdom of heaven in eternity. The earth is a vale of tears, the mortal coil, the lower animal nature, unworthy, and the sword system is the saved and the damned. So I asked myself, thinking about that, what other stories now govern the minds and shape the lives of tens of millions of people? The second one I realized is the story of progress. It's the Western Europe's template pushed out into the world through colonialism, progress, ever onward, and material mastery of the physical world. In this story, the purpose isn't heaven, it's the heavens, to the stars, to go where no man has gone before. The sort system for progress is hierarchy, is power, is decision makers and the worker bees. So it's a power story. So the third story I realized is a story of technology. It's the singularity, with time when technology is so purified that it transcends the bounds of human capacity. It assumes that artificial intelligence and robotics can and will replace the human body and mind. So far in this story, humans see themselves as the overlords and tech as the slaves, but that may not last. Um, Indeed, if you see the environmental, you can see the environmental logic of eliminating carbon-based life with its need for food and shelter and clothing and bathrooms. And silicon life, which is a steady state higher intelligence that can even take the humans to other planets without anyone leaving home. Heaven in this story is not the higher self, but higher human intelligence. The sword system is the tech class, and the human drones who may see themselves as primary but aren't. The final story is my story, the one I believe in, and the one I think is your story. It's the story of this is heaven. This is heaven on earth. It's the story of Gaia. This is the garden, and we can get back to the garden by webs of mutuality with all living beings and forms and systems. We belong here like people throughout time. We can tend and keep the garden, not plow and exploit it. Honestly, my heart sings with this story. Notice, though, that the success of each story is an anathema to all the others. This is the problem. Gaia is the low woman on the totem pole of rapture, progress, and singularity. We are the resource base, fungible. We know that the other stories will crash, and soon if ours is not primary. But the tools of dominance, money, finance, fossil fuels, the ballast of the way things are done, is almost impossible to budge or budge enough. Gaia, though, inhibits progress. So progress doesn't want Gaia for dominance. Secular progress inhibits religious adherence. You know, a godless society, and religious sees the singularity as soulless technocracy. We are in a web of impossibility with these stories competing with no way out. So what I see is that these stories are not arranged properly. They're not in dynamic mutuality and reciprocity. And missing the heart of the matter is the story of wisdom, of balance, of all things in their right place, contributing to the whole. So personal salvation becomes social conscience. Material progress is applied to dematerialization of maximizing well being and minimizing impact. The singularity may well let us travel to the universe with our minds and not mining equipment. Gaia becomes the foundation of all ethics, all morals, all enterprise, all spirituality, all reverence, all endeavors. I don't know how we get there. I just know we must. And now, as promised, what time is it? With the support of deep adaptation, I've come to see that our current social and political order is unable to tame the stories of progress and technology. Personal salvation ignores all but the saved. The design of money, economy, banking, and markets blocks sane, compassionate policy. I don't think we're going to get there. I have grieved this, the loss of all that I love, the world I was born into, and have spent my life trying to serve and preserve. However, I have come to see this. One, I could be wrong. Humanity might yet meet the moment, as Kim Stanley Robinson presents in his new book and my new favorite book, The Ministry for the Future. Two, maybe we crash some limits and boundaries so hard and with such devastation, beyond even what COVID has done, that a moral revulsion happens, an awakening, and people no longer have an appetite for the carnage of nature. I thought this might be so with COVID. I'm not sure this is so. Three, we do mitigate. We use technology and policy to buy time, but are deeply sobered over how hard and expensive it is to do technologically what the earth did for free. Four, we adapt. We move out of the tropics and into higher latitudes and elevations. We learn new skills and life ways. Over 100 civilizations have risen and fallen on this earth. Perhaps with luck, we are a learning species. Perhaps this one civilization, our civilization, will add to our wisdom. Perhaps we will finally be integrated, whole, and a blessing. This is my hope. I do believe that's possible, even if not predictable by what we see now. And I see you all as champions of all of this. In every small, ethical, loving, nurturing, bold, bodacious act, we plant the seeds of the circle of life restored. This also is the purpose of my current project, the podcast, What Could Possibly Go Right, where I interview cultural scouts, people who see far and serve the common good, to tell us what they see emerging that we can cooperate with. So never doubt that a small group of regenerators can save the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. So keep the faith and much love to you all.